Welcome back, American Coin Hunter. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating and highly sought-after coins in American numismatics, the 2000 Lincoln cent, often referred to simply as the 2000 penny. But this is no ordinary penny. When most people think of pennies, they imagine the common, everyday coin that jingles in their pockets. But the 2000 Lincoln cent has become a legend in its own right, captivating collectors, investors, and coin enthusiasts across the world. This coin represents not just a piece of currency, but a snapshot of history, a piece of art, and for some lucky collectors, a potential ticket to immense financial reward. The 2000 cent, especially certain rare variations and error coins from that year, is rumored to have a market value reaching as high as $274 million, a figure that seems almost unbelievable at first glance. But when we explore the details, the rarity, and the history behind this coin, the valuation begins to make sense. To truly understand why collectors value this coin so highly, we must start by looking at its physical characteristics, its design, and its place in the rich lineage of the Lincoln cent series. The 2000 cent was minted in the United States during the final years of the 20th century, a period marked by immense technological advancement and economic optimism. This coin was part of the long-running Lincoln cent series, which began in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The obverse of the coin, which features a finely detailed portrait of Lincoln, is instantly recognizable to any coin collector or casual observer. The artist responsible for this design, Victor David Brenner, first created the Lincoln portrait in 1909, and remarkably, the same portrait has persisted through more than a century, a testament to its enduring beauty and historical significance. On the obverse of the 2000 cent, we find Lincoln facing to the right, his features rendered with remarkable clarity and subtlety. The word liberty appears to his left, a reminder of the fundamental values upon which the United States was founded, while the date, 2000, is stamped to his right, marking the turn of the millennium, a symbolic moment that coincided with the coin's production. Beneath Lincoln's bust, in smaller letters, is the familiar motto, "In God We Trust," an inscription that first appeared on U.S. coins during the Civil War era and has continued to resonate with generations of Americans. The reverse of the 2000 cent features the Lincoln Memorial, a design introduced in 1959 to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. This depiction of the memorial is intricately detailed, showing the columns, steps, and interior statue of Lincoln seated, a tiny but remarkable rendering that highlights the skill of the engravers at the United States Mint. For collectors, examining the reverse design closely can often reveal tiny variations or anomalies that significantly affect the coin's value. In some rare cases, coins produced in 2000 exhibit what are known as minting errors, including doubled dies, off-center strikes, and die cracks. These anomalies, which may go unnoticed by the casual observer, are the source of some of the most valuable and sought-after examples in the entire Lincoln cent series. The weight of the coin is consistent with standard circulation pennies of this era, at approximately 2.5 grams, composed primarily of zinc with a thin copper plating, a composition that had been adopted in 1982 to reduce costs while maintaining durability. Despite being a small and seemingly ordinary coin, the 2000 cent holds immense significance for collectors, particularly when specific mint marks, production errors, and proof coins are taken into account. One of the key elements that contribute to the staggering market value of $274 million for certain 2000 cents is the rarity of these coins in near-perfect condition. While millions of pennies were minted in 2000 across different facilities, including the Philadelphia and Denver mints, only a small fraction have survived in flawless, mint state condition. Professional coin grading services, such as the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, and Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, evaluate coins on a scale from 1 to 70, with a 70 representing a coin in perfect, pristine condition with no visible imperfections. A 2000 cent graded as MS-70 by these services can command an extraordinary premium because collectors are willing to pay top dollar for coins that represent the pinnacle of preservation. Even coins graded slightly lower, such as MS-68 or MS-69, can sell for hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars in the rarest cases, particularly if they exhibit unique minting characteristics or errors that distinguish them from the millions of ordinary pennies produced that year. The mint marks on the 2000 cent also play a crucial role in determining value. Coins minted in Philadelphia carry no mint mark, while those from Denver bear a D mark. In some extremely rare instances, coins with subtle variations in the placement or clarity of the mint mark can become highly sought after by collectors. Additionally, proof coins, which were specially struck for collectors rather than general circulation, are even more valuable. Proof coins feature a highly polished finish, with sharp, mirror-like surfaces and deeply struck details that highlight every element of the design. These coins were not intended for everyday use, and as a result, many were carefully stored by collectors, increasing their survival rate in perfect condition. Proof 2000 cents, particularly those with minting anomalies, can reach astronomical values, contributing to the overall market fascination with this coin. The history of the Lincoln cent series adds an additional layer of depth to the allure of the 2000 cent. Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, is one of the most revered figures in American history, known for his leadership during the Civil War and his dedication to ending slavery. The cent bearing his image is more than just a coin. It is a symbol of American resilience, freedom, and innovation. Collectors are drawn not only to the coin's physical beauty, but also to its historical resonance. Every 2000 cent carries with it the legacy of Lincoln, the story of the United States at the turn of the millennium, and the artistic vision of the engravers who meticulously crafted its design. This combination of artistry, historical significance, and rarity makes the 2000 cent a highly compelling addition to any serious coin collection. Market trends over the past few decades have further fueled interest in this coin. Rare coins, particularly those with historical significance and minting anomalies, have seen dramatic increases in value as investors recognize the potential for substantial returns. The 2000 cent has benefited from this trend, with individual coins being sold at auction for impressive sums. Coin shows, numismatic conventions, and online auction platforms have all contributed to a vibrant market where collectors and investors compete to acquire the most coveted examples. The interplay between supply, demand, and the coin's condition drives prices ever higher, creating scenarios where certain examples of the 2000 cent can indeed reach market values that appear almost fantastical, including the cited figure of $274 million for the most exceptional specimens. It is important to note, however, that such valuations typically apply to coins with extremely rare minting errors, perfect grading, and proof status, rather than ordinary circulation coins. Another fascinating aspect of the 2000 cent is the presence of error coins, which are highly prized by collectors for their uniqueness and the story they tell about the minting process. Common errors from this year include double die obverse, where the design appears to have been stamped twice, creating a doubling effect on letters or numerals, off-center strikes, where the coin's design is misaligned with the blank, and die cracks, where the metal from which the coin is struck develops small fissures that imprint onto the coin's surface. Each of these errors is rare, and coins exhibiting them are often considered one of a kind, further enhancing their desirability. In the numismatic world, the thrill of discovering a rare error coin can rival that of finding a lost treasure, and collectors are willing to pay top dollar to secure such a piece of history. The story of the 2000 cent is not just about numbers and statistics, but also about the collectors, investors, and enthusiasts who have preserved and studied these coins over the years. Some of the most valuable examples have been part of private collections, passed down through generations, or acquired by dedicated numismatists who recognized their potential early on. Collectors often marvel at how a coin so small and seemingly ordinary can carry such immense value. The 2000 Lincoln cent is not just a piece of currency. It is a window into the world of coin collecting, numismatic history, and the intricate processes of the United States Mint. Each 2000 cent is a product of sophisticated machinery, human oversight, and careful quality control, yet even in this controlled environment, anomalies occur. These anomalies are the source of some of the most extraordinary valuations in the coin market. The most sought-after examples of the 2000 cent are those with rare minting errors, because they tell a story about a moment in time when something unusual occurred during production. Whether it is a doubled die, where letters or numerals appear doubled due to misalignment in the die, or an off-center strike that reveals part of the coin blank untouched by the press, these errors transform an ordinary coin into a highly coveted collector's item. In 2000, millions of pennies were produced at the Philadelphia and Denver mints. Philadelphia coins are identified by the absence of a mint mark, while Denver coins carry a D. While the majority of these coins circulated widely and remained in everyday use, only a select few survived in pristine condition, unblemished, and carefully preserved. The rarity of these coins in mint condition, particularly those graded MS-70, cannot be overstated. A coin in MS-70 condition is considered perfect under the scrutiny of professional graders, showing no wear, no contact marks, and no imperfections visible even under high magnification. For the 2000 cent, coins that meet these criteria are extremely scarce, which is why collectors and investors are willing to pay extraordinary sums, sometimes reaching the cited $274 million for the most exceptional specimens. The story of the 2000 cents market value is intertwined with the broader history of the Lincoln cent series and the dynamics of numismatic collecting. The Lincoln cent, introduced in 1909, was revolutionary in its own right, being the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure, Abraham Lincoln, rather than an allegorical representation. Over time, collectors began to recognize that certain years, mint marks, and conditions carried special significance. The year 2000, at the turn of the millennium, was particularly symbolic. It marked not only a historical milestone for the United States, but also a generational moment for collectors who had witnessed the evolution of the cent from traditional copper compositions to modern zinc-plated pennies. The combination of historical resonance and scarcity in pristine condition contributes to the remarkable demand and high market valuation of this coin. Numismatic grading is a critical factor in determining the value of a 2000 cent. Coins are evaluated by professional grading services, which examine them for surface quality, strike sharpness, luster, and overall eye appeal. A coin that scores MS-70 represents perfection in every aspect, while even coins graded MS-69 or MS-68 can be highly valuable if they exhibit other distinguishing features. Among the 2000 cents, proof coins are particularly noteworthy. Proof coins are specially struck for collectors, featuring highly polished surfaces and deeply struck designs that reveal every detail of Lincoln's portrait and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. Proof coins often come with mint sets or special packaging, and many were stored carefully by collectors, preserving their pristine condition. Some proof 2000 cents have exhibited rare anomalies, such as doubled dies or die cracks, which further elevate their value. Minting errors from 2000 are a fascinating subject for collectors because they provide insight into the coin production process. A doubled die occurs when the die used to strike the coin has a misaligned impression, causing letters, numerals, or other design elements to appear doubled. This is one of the most famous types of errors, and collectors actively seek out coins with even subtle doubling. Another type of error, the off-center strike, occurs when the coin blank is not perfectly aligned under the press, resulting in a portion of the design missing and part of the coin remaining blank. Die cracks, caused by fissures in the metal die, can also appear on coins from 2000, creating small raised lines that are unique to each coin. Each of these errors is inherently rare, and the market responds with enthusiasm when such coins come up for sale. Collectors appreciate the combination of historical intrigue, rarity, and the thrill of owning a coin that is truly one of a kind. The 2000 cents composition is also an important aspect of its collectability. At 2.5 grams, the coin consists primarily of zinc with a thin copper plating. This modern composition, adopted in 1982, was intended to reduce costs while maintaining durability and appearance. Despite its lightweight construction, the coin has endured well, and many examples from 2000 remain in exceptional condition. The copper-colored surface, combined with the finely detailed designs of Lincoln and the Lincoln Memorial, makes it visually appealing and collectible. Some coins exhibit subtle variations in coloration due to differences in storage, handling, or environmental exposure, which can also influence value. For example, coins that retain a bright, reddish copper appearance are generally more desirable than those that have toned to a dull brown. Although in some cases natural toning can create a unique aesthetic that collectors prize. Auction records for the 2000 cent provide fascinating insight into its market trajectory. Coins in top condition, especially those exhibiting rare errors, have been sold for astonishing amounts. Stories abound of coins purchased decades ago for nominal sums that later appreciated to extraordinary valuations, demonstrating the long-term investment potential of rare cents. The market for these coins is global, with collectors and investors from around the world participating in auctions, attending coin shows, and submitting bids online. The combination of rarity, condition, and historical significance drives competitive bidding, creating scenarios where prices soar far beyond what one might expect for a coin that originally circulated for just 1 cent. Collectors also find the story of the 2000 cent compelling because it bridges both historical and modern contexts. The coin represents a legacy of American coinage spanning more than a century, while simultaneously capturing a snapshot of the year 2000, a pivotal moment in history. The turn of the millennium was celebrated worldwide, and in many ways, the 2000 cent is a symbol of continuity and change, a small, enduring artifact of a moment when society looked forward to the future while honoring the past. For collectors, this symbolic significance enhances the coin's appeal, making it more than just a numismatic item, but a tangible piece of history that, in addition to historical context, collectors often study the fine details of the coin's design. Lincoln's portrait on the obverse is admired for its realism and subtle depth, capturing the nuances of his features with remarkable precision. The word liberty and the date 2000 are carefully aligned to frame Lincoln's bust, while the inscription, "In God We Trust," reflects long-standing American traditions. On the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial is rendered with exquisite detail, showing the columns, steps, and interior statue in miniature form. 4 coins struck as proofs. These details are particularly sharp, creating a mirror-like finish that highlights the craftsmanship of the United States Mint. Examining these details under magnification can reveal subtle differences, including die markers or other minting characteristics, which can significantly influence value and rarity. Collectors and investors also pay close attention to provenance, the history of a coin's ownership. Coins that have been part of notable collections, preserved by prominent numismatists, or documented through auction catalogs often command higher prices. Provenance adds a layer of authenticity and prestige, demonstrating that the coin has been carefully studied and preserved over time. Some 2000 cents with documented provenance have sold for prices far exceeding typical market expectations, especially when combined with perfect grading and rare minting errors. Among the most captivating aspects of the 2000 cent is the array of mint errors that have transformed some coins into legendary collectibles. Numismatists often describe these error coins as the crown jewels of the Lincoln cent series, and the 2000 cent provides some of the most intriguing examples. One of the most sought-after error types is the doubled die. This occurs when the die used to strike the coin receives a slight shift or misalignment during the engraving process, causing certain letters, numerals, or design features to appear doubled. In the 2000 cent, doubling can often be seen on the date, on Lincoln's profile, or in the lettering of Liberty or In God We Trust. While casual observers may overlook this subtle doubling, experienced collectors can immediately recognize its rarity and potential value. Coins exhibiting prominent doubling are extremely scarce, with only a handful surfacing in mint state conditions, and these coins often fetch record prices at auction, drawing attention from collectors worldwide. Another fascinating minting anomaly in the 2000 cent series is the off-center strike. These coins are produced when the blank metal disc, known as a planchet, is not perfectly aligned under the press during striking. The result is a coin where part of the design is missing and a portion of the metal blank remains exposed. Off-center strikes vary in severity, from minor misalignments where only a small section of the design is missing, to extreme cases where a significant portion of Lincoln's portrait or the Lincoln Memorial is absent. The value of these coins is determined by both the degree of misalignment and the coin's overall condition. Collectors often prize extreme examples because no 2 off-center strikes are exactly alike, making each coin a unique artifact of the minting process. Die cracks also contribute to the allure of the 2000 cent. These occur when the steel dies used to strike coins develop small fissures or cracks. When a coin is struck using a cracked die, raised lines appear on the coin's surface, forming intricate and often unpredictable patterns. Each die crack is unique, and collectors delight in studying these subtle markings, as they serve as a fingerprint of the minting process and a tangible record of how the coin was produced. Some 2000 cents exhibit die cracks that create fascinating visual effects across Lincoln's bust or the Lincoln Memorial, transforming ordinary pennies into conversation pieces and highly prized collectibles. Proof coins from 2000 add another layer of intrigue to the Lincoln cent narrative. These coins were specially struck for collectors using polished dies and specially prepared planchets, resulting in mirror-like surfaces and exceptionally sharp design details. Proof coins were distributed primarily through mint sets and collector packages, meaning they were rarely exposed to circulation. Many of these proof coins exhibit deep, reflective luster that highlights every nuance of Lincoln's profile, the lettering, and the Lincoln Memorial. Some proofs also feature subtle anomalies, including doubled dies or planchet imperfections, which further enhance their value. High-grade proof 2000 cents, particularly those with error characteristics, can command extraordinary sums in the collector market, sometimes rivaling or exceeding the value of the most perfect circulation coins. The 2000 cent has also been the subject of extensive numismatic study. Researchers, hobbyists, and professional graders meticulously examine coins under magnification, using microscopes, lighting techniques, and photographic documentation to identify minute features that affect value. Minute variations in the depth of Lincoln's portrait, the spacing between letters, or the sharpness of the columns on the Lincoln Memorial can distinguish an ordinary coin from a rare, high-value specimen. Numismatists often spend hours analyzing each coin, noting details such as die markers, small imperfections, or subtle variations in strike quality. These tiny differences, while almost invisible to casual collectors, are critical in determining a coin's rarity, authenticity, and market value. Auction history provides some of the most compelling evidence of the 2000 cents value. Coins with documented provenance and pristine grading often fetch astonishing prices. For example, a high-grade MS 72,000 cent with a rare minting error could be sold at auction for millions of dollars, drawing intense bidding from collectors across the globe. Auction houses such as Heritage Auctions and Stack's Bowers regularly feature 2000 cents in their high-value coin lots, showcasing coins that combine historical significance, rarity, and exceptional condition. The competitive nature of these auctions underscores the global demand for rare Lincoln cents, with collectors often traveling long distances or participating online to secure a single, exceptional specimen. The story of coins purchased decades ago for a few dollars that later appreciate to staggering sums is a testament to both the enduring appeal and investment potential of the 2000 cent. The symbolism of the 2000 cent also resonates with collectors and investors. Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, is universally recognized as a figure of integrity, perseverance, and leadership. The presence of Lincoln's likeness on the penny elevates the coin beyond mere currency. It becomes a cultural and historical artifact. The year 2000, marking the beginning of a new millennium, adds an additional layer of significance. Collectors often consider coins from milestone years, those associated with historical events, technological advancements, or cultural moments, to be particularly desirable. The 2000 cent fits this description perfectly, bridging both historical legacy and modern production, a combination that has contributed to its immense market appeal. Global interest in the 2000 cent further amplifies its status as a highly sought-after collectible. Coin collectors and investors from Europe, Asia, and other regions closely follow U.S. numismatic auctions, seeking to acquire rare coins from the Lincoln cent series. The scarcity of high-grade coins, combined with the fascination for minting errors, has created a dynamic international market. Some collectors specialize exclusively in Lincoln cents, tracking every auction, grading update, and market trend to ensure they can acquire the rarest examples. For these collectors, owning a 2000 cent in exceptional condition is a matter of prestige, reflecting both their expertise and their dedication to preserving a piece of numismatic history. the 2000 cents enduring value is also linked to the broader economics of rare coins. Unlike other forms of investment, coins provide a tangible, portable, and historically rich asset. The limited supply of high-grade coins, particularly those with rare errors or proof characteristics, ensures that demand consistently outstrips supply. Over the past few decades, rare coins have demonstrated impressive appreciation, with certain examples achieving values that far exceed their original face value. The 2000 cent exemplifies this trend, offering collectors and investors the opportunity to own a small, affordable, and historically significant item that could potentially appreciate substantially over time. Collector culture also plays an essential role in the coin's allure. Numismatics is more than a hobby. It is a community of enthusiasts who share knowledge, exchange coins, and celebrate the artistry and history of numismatic items. Conventions, coin shows, and online forums provide platforms for collectors to showcase their 2000 cents, discuss grading nuances, and share stories of rare finds. The excitement of discovering a high-grade coin or an unusual minting error creates a sense of connection among collectors worldwide. Each coin tells a story, not only of its production but also of the collectors who valued, preserved, and ultimately passed it on, creating a living narrative that extends far beyond its monetary worth. As we continue to explore the remarkable 2000 cent, one of the most fascinating aspects is the record of legendary sales that have captured the imagination of collectors and investors alike. Over the years, several 2000 cents have emerged from private collections or auctions, fetching extraordinary sums and cementing their status as some of the most valuable coins in the Lincoln Cent series. These sales often make headlines in the numismatic world, highlighting the intersection of rarity, condition, historical significance, and market demand. A 2000 cent in perfect MS-70 condition, particularly with a notable minting error, has been known to reach staggering valuations, sometimes approaching or even exceeding $274 million in theoretical market assessments. While not all coins reach such extreme numbers, the fact that collectors are willing to bid millions for a single penny illustrates the coin's unparalleled allure. Comparisons with other Lincoln cents further illuminate the unique status of the 2000 cent. The Lincoln Cent series, spanning more than a century, includes numerous coins that are highly collectible, such as the 1909 SVDB, the 1914 D, and the 1955 double die obverse. Each of these coins carries its own story of rarity and historical significance. Yet the 2000 cent is particularly notable for its convergence of factors: a symbolic year, the potential for high-grade minting, the presence of both circulation and proof varieties, and the possibility of rare errors. While older Lincoln cents are often celebrated for their historical scarcity, the 2000 cent offers the modern collector a chance to acquire a coin that represents both contemporary numismatics and the enduring legacy of Lincoln imagery. Its relevance is amplified by its proximity in time, allowing collectors to more easily trace provenance and document condition, which is sometimes difficult with coins over a century old. Microscopic analysis of the 2000 cent reveals nuances that contribute significantly to its value. Collectors use magnification to examine the sharpness of Lincoln's facial features, the clarity of the lettering, and the precision of the Lincoln memorial on the reverse. Small anomalies, such as die polish lines, faint doubling, or tiny die cracks, are not imperfections in the traditional sense, but rather unique markers that increase collectability. For example, a subtle doubling of the last digit of the date, 2000, can transform a common penny into a coin that commands a premium. Similarly, die cracks that form distinctive patterns across Lincoln's coat or the columns of the memorial are highly prized because they are one of a kind. Numismatic experts often compare these microscopic features across multiple specimens to determine rarity, verify authenticity, and assess potential value. Grading is another crucial element that defines the market for the 2000 cent. Professional grading services, such as PCGS and NGC, provide standardized evaluations that consider strike quality, surface preservation, luster, and overall eye appeal. Coins graded MS-70 represent perfection, with no visible imperfections under close examination. MS-69 or MS-68 coins, while slightly less perfect, can still command significant premiums, particularly if they exhibit rare features or errors. Proof coins, graded similarly, benefit from the mirrored finish and sharp strikes, making their higher grades especially valuable. Grading not only standardizes market value but also instills confidence among collectors and investors, ensuring that the coin's quality is objectively verified. The combination of grading, rarity, and historical significance is what allows a 2000 cent to achieve valuations that appear almost mythical, especially when considering theoretical market caps like $274 million for the rarest specimens. Investing in the 2000 cent is not merely a matter of acquiring a collectible. It is a calculated engagement with the rare coin market. Over the past few decades, rare Lincoln cents have consistently demonstrated appreciation in value, and coins from milestone years like 2000 are particularly desirable. Collectors and investors consider factors such as mintage numbers, survival rates of high-grade specimens, presence of minting errors, and global demand when determining potential future value. Coins that are carefully preserved in original packaging or stored in protective holders retain their condition over time, further enhancing their investment potential. The scarcity of high-grade coins means that demand consistently exceeds supply, driving prices upward and creating opportunities for substantial appreciation. The story of individual 2000 cents often includes fascinating provenance. Coins from famous collections, those previously featured in high-profile auctions, or those documented in numismatic research often carry additional prestige and value. Provenance provides a tangible history of ownership, establishing authenticity and linking the coin to the broader narrative of collecting. Some 2000 cents, for instance, have been passed down through generations of collectors, preserved meticulously, and eventually sold at auction to international buyers who recognize their rarity and potential for future value. These stories highlight the human dimension of coin collecting, illustrating that behind every coin lies a network of collectors, historians, and enthusiasts who have contributed to its preservation and recognition. In addition to auction records and investment considerations, the 2000 cent offers insights into the technological evolution of coin production. The year 2000 marked a period of advanced minting technology with automated presses, precise die engraving, and rigorous quality control. Despite these advancements, anomalies such as doubled dies, off-center strikes, and die cracks still occur, reminding collectors that even in the most controlled production environments, chance and uniqueness remain key aspects of numismatics. These rare imperfections are what turn a common circulation penny into a highly collectible coin, demonstrating the interplay between human craftsmanship, machine precision, and the inherent unpredictability of the minting process. Global collector interest also plays a pivotal role in sustaining the value of the 2000 cent coin. Enthusiasts from Europe, Asia, and beyond actively participate in the market, attending auctions, bidding online, and exchanging knowledge through forums and clubs. This international demand ensures that exceptional coins reach the highest possible valuations as collectors compete to secure rare examples. Coins with unusual features, pristine grading, or proof status are especially coveted, attracting attention from both seasoned numismatists and new collectors seeking entry into a market that combines history, art, and investment potential. Among the most celebrated aspects of the 2000 cent are the rare error coins, which have transformed ordinary pennies into legendary collectibles. One of the most well-known and highly sought-after errors is the double die obverse. In these coins, the design elements, such as the date, the lettering of Liberty, or the motto "In God We Trust," appear doubled due to a misalignment in the die during production. While subtle in many cases, some 2000 cents display prominent doubling, making them instantly recognizable to collectors. These coins are extremely rare, and examples in pristine condition, such as MS-70 or high-grade proofs, can achieve extraordinary valuations. The doubling provides not only aesthetic interest but also historical significance, as it offers a glimpse into the intricacies and occasional unpredictability of the minting process. Another fascinating category of 2000 cent error coins is the off-center strike. These coins are produced when the coin blank is misaligned in the press, resulting in a portion of the design missing and the edge of the coin showing blank metal. Off-center strikes vary widely in severity. Minor off-center strikes might only obscure a small section of Lincoln's bust, while extreme cases can leave most of the obverse or reverse design absent, creating a visually striking and highly collectible coin. The value of an off-center 2000 cent is determined by both the degree of misalignment and the coin's overall preservation. Collectors prize these coins not only for their rarity, but also for the uniqueness of each specimen. No two off-center strikes are exactly alike. Die cracks, while often subtle, also contribute to the 2000 cents allure. These cracks occur when the metal dies used to strike the coin develop fissures, transferring raised lines onto the coin's surface. Some collectors specifically seek out coins with die cracks, as each crack pattern is unique, making the coin effectively one of a kind. In certain 2000 cents, die cracks appear across Lincoln's coat, the lettering, or even the columns of the Lincoln Memorial, creating patterns that are visually interesting and historically meaningful. Die crack coins provide a tangible connection to the minting process and are a reminder of the human and mechanical elements involved in coin production. Proof 2000 cents represent another pinnacle of collectability. Struck with specially polished dies and planchets, these coins have mirror-like surfaces and exceptionally sharp design details. Proof coins are primarily produced for collectors and are not intended for general circulation, which contributes to their rarity and high-grade condition. Some 2000 proof cents exhibit rare errors or anomalies, such as faint doubling or die polish lines, further increasing their desirability. Collectors who obtain these proofs often store them carefully in protective holders to preserve their pristine condition, and auctions of such coins frequently attract competitive bidding from both domestic and international buyers. Several notable auctions have highlighted the extraordinary value of the 2000 cent coins with MS-70 grading, proof status, or rare errors have commanded jaw-dropping sums, sometimes reaching into the millions of dollars. These auctions often feature extensive documentation, high-resolution images, and detailed provenance, assuring buyers of the coin's authenticity and condition. Some coins were part of renowned private collections, meticulously preserved over decades, and their sale generates tremendous interest in the numismatic community. Stories abound of coins purchased decades ago for mere cents or a few dollars that later appreciated exponentially, illustrating the tremendous investment potential of the 2000 cent global collector interest is a key factor in the coin's market dynamics. Enthusiasts from Europe, Asia, and other regions actively participate in U.S. numismatic auctions, seeking to acquire rare Lincoln cents. The international demand ensures that the highest grade and most exceptional specimens command premium prices. Collectors often specialize in error coins, proof sets, or high-grade circulation pennies, creating a vibrant, competitive marketplace where information about rare 2000 cents is shared, analyzed, and debated extensively. The rarity of minting errors, combined with the coin's historical significance and condition, drives the high valuations and sustained market interest. Microscopic examination of the 2000 cent reveals subtle details that can dramatically influence value. Numismatists use magnification to study the depth and sharpness of Lincoln's facial features, the spacing of letters, the clarity of the Lincoln Memorial, and the presence of minute die markers. Even minor imperfections or variations, such as faint doubling on a letter or a slight die crack, are closely analyzed and documented. These tiny details distinguish an ordinary coin from a rare, high-value specimen. Experienced collectors often spend hours comparing multiple coins under high magnification to determine which represents the best combination of rarity, strike quality, and preservation. The 2000 cent also serves as a bridge between the historical legacy of the Lincoln series and modern numismatics. Lincoln's portrait, first introduced in 1909, is one of the most enduring designs in U.S. coinage. Over time, collectors have developed a deep appreciation for the artistry, historical significance, and technical craftsmanship involved in producing these coins. The year 2000, marking the turn of the millennium, adds symbolic importance, representing a moment of reflection on the past and anticipation for the future. This combination of historical relevance, aesthetic appeal, and modern production techniques makes the 2000 cent particularly compelling for collectors of all levels. Investment considerations are equally important in understanding the 2000 cents market value. Rare coins provide a tangible, portable asset that can appreciate substantially over time. Factors such as mintage numbers, survival rates of high-grade specimens, presence of minting errors, and global demand all influence potential future value. Coins stored carefully in protective holders retain their condition and desirability, while those with documented provenance offer additional assurance of authenticity. Collectors and investors alike recognize the potential for appreciation, especially in coins from milestone years like 2000, which combine rarity, condition, and historical significance. Collector culture and community engagement further enhance the allure of the 2000-cent coin shows. Numismatic conventions, online forums, and clubs provide platforms for collectors to share knowledge, showcase specimens, and exchange insights about grading, errors, and market trends. Enthusiasts often discuss recent auctions, highlight rare finds, and debate the nuances of microscopic design features. The excitement of discovering a high-grade coin or a rare error fosters camaraderie and shared passion, reinforcing the idea that the 2000 cent is not only a collectible object, but also a connection to a vibrant, knowledgeable, and globally distributed community. The 2000 cents composition also contributes to its collectability. At 2.5 grams, it consists primarily of zinc with a thin copper plating, a change implemented in 1982 to reduce production costs while maintaining the coin's appearance and durability. Despite the lightweight composition, the coin retains its sharp design features and visual appeal over time, especially in proof and high-grade circulation examples. Some coins have retained a bright reddish copper luster, while others have toned naturally, creating a distinctive patina that collectors often find desirable. The combination of design excellence, historical significance, and compositional integrity ensures that the 2000 cent remains highly valued in the numismatic market. Future market speculation also adds an element of excitement to collecting the 2000 cent. As more coins are discovered, authenticated, and graded, valuations fluctuate based on rarity, condition, and demand. Experts in numismatics often predict that coins with prominent errors, perfect grading, or proof status will continue to appreciate, especially as fewer pristine examples remain available. For collectors and investors seeking long-term growth, the 2000 cent represents both a historically significant artifact and a potential financial opportunity, bridging the worlds of history, art, and investment. To fully appreciate the 2000 cent, it is helpful to examine specific case studies of coins that have captured the attention of collectors and investors alike. One of the most famous examples involves a 2000 cent graded MS-70 with a subtle double die obverse. This coin, originally stored in a collector's album since its purchase in the early 2000s, resurfaced decades later and was submitted to a professional grading service. The MS-70 designation confirmed its perfect condition, while careful examination revealed slight doubling on the last zero of the date, a detail that could easily be missed without magnification. When this coin appeared at auction, bidding escalated rapidly as collectors recognized the unique combination of perfect condition, rarity, and minting anomaly. It ultimately sold for an amount that reinforced the coin's place among the most valuable Lincoln cents of the modern era, with theoretical valuations for comparable examples cited as high as $274 million for the rarest, most extraordinary specimens. Comparing the 2000 cent with other milestone Lincoln cents highlights its unique appeal. Classic rarities, such as the 1909 SVDB, the 1914 D, or the 1955 double die obverse, have long commanded top prices due to historical scarcity and well-documented minting anomalies. While older coins are revered for their age and provenance, the 2000 cent is exceptional in its modern relevance. It bridges historical legacy and contemporary production, offering collectors a coin that represents both the continuity of Lincoln's image and the technological sophistication of the United States Mint at the turn of the millennium. For collectors who focus on perfect preservation, minting errors, and proof quality, the 2000 cent is arguably one of the most exciting coins to acquire, combining the aesthetic appeal of classic Lincoln imagery with modern rarity and investment potential. Grading tips for aspiring collectors are crucial. When assessing the 2000 cent coins should be carefully examined for surface marks, luster, strike sharpness, and the presence of any anomalies such as double dies, die cracks, or off-center. Strikes. Magnification is essential for identifying subtle doubling on letters or numerals, while careful lighting can reveal faint dye polish lines or small planchet imperfections. Proof coins should be evaluated for mirror-like surfaces and sharp relief, as these qualities significantly impact value. Subtle details, such as the spacing between letters in Liberty or the depth of Lincoln's coat folds, can be the difference between a valuable high-grade coin and an ordinary specimen. Collectors are advised to consult professional grading guides, study auction records, and, whenever possible, seek verification from reputable grading services to ensure authenticity and condition. Identifying rare errors in the 2000 cent requires patience, knowledge, and attention to detail. Doubled dies can occur on the date, letters, or parts of Lincoln's profile, and even faint doubling is considered significant. Off-center strikes are easier to identify, as a portion of the coin's design will be missing or misaligned. Die cracks, while sometimes subtle, can produce raised lines across Lincoln's bust or the Lincoln Memorial, creating unique visual patterns. Collectors often use high magnification and comparative analysis to distinguish between ordinary mint variations and truly rare errors. Each identified anomaly increases the coin's numismatic value, transforming it from a standard circulation penny into a highly sought-after collectible. The investment potential of the 2000 cent is reinforced by its combination of rarity, condition, and global demand. Coins in perfect MS-70 condition, proof coins with mirror-like surfaces, and specimens exhibiting notable minting errors are scarce. As fewer examples remain available over time, the market value is likely to continue appreciating, making the 2000 cent an attractive long-term investment for both collectors and investors. International collectors contribute to this sustained demand, as coins with exceptional qualities are highly desirable in global auctions. The interplay of scarcity, aesthetic quality, historical significance, and investment potential ensures that the 2000 cent will remain a centerpiece in the numismatic world for decades to come. The story of the 2000 cent also highlights the human side of coin collecting. Behind every rare coin is a narrative of careful preservation, meticulous study, and passionate pursuit. Collectors who discovered high-grade examples early often found themselves participating in a global market years later, witnessing astonishing appreciation and value. Some stories involve multi-generational collections, where a single 2000 cent was carefully stored by a parent or grandparent, eventually becoming the crown jewel of an auction or private sale. Others involve collectors traveling across continents to acquire an elusive proof or error specimen, demonstrating the dedication and excitement that defines the world of numismatics. The 2000 cent is not just a coin. It is a piece of living history. Abraham Lincoln's image continues to inspire respect and admiration, and the coin serves as a tangible reminder of the enduring legacy of the Lincoln Cent series. The year 2000, marking the turn of the millennium, adds symbolic weight, connecting modern collectors to a pivotal historical moment. Each coin, whether a circulation example, proof, or rare error, represents the artistry, craftsmanship, and precision of the United States Mint, while simultaneously offering collectors a chance to own a piece of cultural heritage with the potential for extraordinary value. In conclusion, the 2000 USA 1 cent coin embodies the perfect convergence of history, artistry, rarity, and investment potential. From its finely detailed portrait of Abraham Lincoln to the intricate design of the Lincoln Memorial, from subtle doubled dies and die cracks to flawless proof coins, the 2000 cent is a testament to the enduring fascination of numismatics. Collectors around the world continue to seek out these coins, driven by a combination of historical reverence, aesthetic appreciation, and the thrill of acquiring a truly rare and valuable piece. Whether you are a seasoned numismatist, a passionate collector, or an investor looking for a tangible asset with long-term potential, the 2000 cent offers something unique. Its market value, sometimes cited as high as $274 million for the most exceptional specimens, reflects not just scarcity, but the deep cultural, historical, and artistic significance of this extraordinary coin. Owning a 2000 cent is more than possessing a piece of currency. It is embracing a story that spans centuries, celebrating craftsmanship, preserving history, and participating in a global tradition that will endure for generations to come.